What do you think you get if you mix a Reddit thread, a masterclass, and a VidCon panel together? Probably a billion-dollar company with limitless potential. Hi everyone, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. We're talking about Clubhouse. So if you're clicking on this video, my guess is that you've probably already heard about the new app Clubhouse. It is the moment. That's dramatic. Truly though, this app is, I think it's the next big thing. And if you don't believe me, just take a look at the stats. Over the past week, they have gone from 1 million to 2 million active users. Guys, this app isn't even out yet. Like the app is like not public yet. You can only get on it if you get invited. I truly believe that Clubhouse could be the next big social media platform. It's new, it's different, it feels more personal, and the potential honestly seems like really limitless. So I will be curious to hear at the end of this video whether or not you think the Clubhouse could be the next big thing. So the app initially launched back in March of 2020, right at the beginning of the pandemic, which I honestly think probably helped it a bit. I personally didn't actually hear about Clubhouse until probably like August or September of 2020, but I wasn't on the app until early January, a few weeks ago. However, literally the first day that I used the app, I was blown away by the potential of it. And I think part of the beauty of the app right now is that everybody who's using it right now is so excited about it. It's really wild. So Clubhouse is a completely audio-based social networking platform. I'm sure you're wondering what that means. When I read it, I had absolutely no idea. It basically just means that the conversations all happen in real time. There's literally no text in the app. Well, there's text in like your bio and like your profile, but there's no way to communicate on the app over text. It's only done over audio. The premise of the app is that it's driven by conversation. So it allows users to join lots of different chat rooms centered around any topic. Literally name any topic and you can make a room centered around it right now.
While I'm here scripting this Clubhouse video, there is a room called How to Network in Social Media. It's being led by Kyle Hangami, and Laura DIY is here, Caleb Marshall, Alicia, Zach from the Try Guys. So it's interesting just being able to listen in on this conversation while doing other things. I was cleaning my room before.
All work from our home.
I'm not gonna put any of the conversation in the actual video because honestly, I don't know if it's like legal to. That's one of the things that I hadn't really thought about until I was making this video, but like technically you can't record people without their permission. However, being on a social platform like this, how is it different than like putting a tweet online? I'm not really sure. So this is the speaker stage. Everybody with a little green dot is a moderator of the conversation. This section is the people who are in the audience who are followed by the people on stage. And then below is everyone else in the audience who is kind of listening in. And it's a pretty big room right now. So there are all these people listening in on them talking. If I wanted to talk, I could press the little hand raise button. Hi TK, hi Ollie. If I want to invite anyone to the room and tell them like, oh Tina, like you would love this, you should totally come listen to it, I press the plus, or I can leave quietly. And that is the basic breakdown on Clubhouse. But yeah, this is like the main hallway, so it shows things that are tailored to you. It's interesting, in their most recent town hall, they were talking about how they're changing the algorithm basically to try to keep what's suggested to you like the most relevant. Obviously they want to show you things that you're interested in so that you spend more time on the app. Up here you have invites to invite people to the app when you get invites. I don't have any right now. I want to schedule an event or look at the events that are upcoming. There's that. Notifications, my profile. Basically, these three people are now being brought up on stage so that they can ask the moderators questions. So the first time I ever entered a room, it immediately reminded me so much of just like a VidCon panel. People are brought up on stage, they can ask their questions, they can interact with these people that you know you've only seen online, and it's like, it's so wild to be able to break down that barrier and be able to talk to kind of anyone you want who's on the app. It's just so cool. Like the accessibility of it is really groundbreaking.
Actually, right before I filmed this video, Shelby and I made a room for like 8 minutes to talk about OnlyFans. We were gonna talk about like what we learned from the documentary. I was curious because, whatever, I'm getting ahead of myself. Clubhouse is an incredible resource right now for networking, communication, growth, and learning. Every time I go on the app, I learn something. I have learned more in the past 3 weeks listening to conversations on this app than I have learned probably in the past year of the pandemic, which also makes sense because it's definitely filling that void of like not being able to talk to strangers or like listen in to conversations at like a coffee shop. But in the first day that I was on the app, I was listening to a group of individuals talk about what they thought the future of social media be, and the room was moderated by Idelson. So there was a really interesting conversation going on in a subsequent room talking about ways that the app could evolve in order to include everybody, even those who can't hear. Because with an audio-based app, how can people who can't hear partake. All of these things that I wouldn't necessarily think about because from my point of view and from my experiences, that's not where my brain goes. So Clubhouse right now is functioning by invite only, which is so brilliant for so many reasons. So being invite only, it allowed them to start out with a small group of beta testers. It allowed the app to evolve naturally. It also makes sense, of course, that the people who were really enjoying the app would continue to use it. Those who didn't really like it wouldn't really continue using it. And the people who did keep using it and were really enjoying it were gonna promote it really heavily to their friends. Word of mouth is probably one of the best ways to like spread a message. It's just also like one of the slowest and hardest things to do. They truly figured out a way to make the app grow organically from people's own excitement. When something is spread through word of mouth, like if I were to go to my friends and be like, you need to get on this app, that carries so much more weight than seeing an ad for an app online. Also being invite only, they have literally spent $0 on advertising. They have spent $0 on their social media. They have done nothing and they have over 2 million active users a week. Like that is so mind-blowing. It is crazy. Having it be invite only, of course people want the things that they can't have, so having it be like a limited accessibility, it makes everybody want to be on the app. If they hear about it and they hear people talking about it and they see it and they can't get on, people want to be on it. Naturally, we all want the things that we can't have. It's basic human psychology. So if you're not able to get onto this app, if you're not able to just download it, people are gonna fixate on it. They're gonna want to get on so badly. There are more people using Clubhouse right now than in Wyoming, Vermont, DC, Alaska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Delaware, Rhode Island, Montana, Maine, New Hampshire, Hawaii, Idaho, West Virginia, or Nebraska. Not all together. But those states all have a population of fewer than 2 million. That's where my brain was going. Also, through this whole concept of having it be invite only, it kind of makes everything a little bit more precious. Since users are only given a certain number of invites, when you sign up, I think you get 1 or 2. It's this implicit who deserves this invite. It puts a pressure on the users to only invite people who they think will add to the app, will add to the conversation, will bring something of value, will enjoy it. You know, they're not just throwing it out willy-nilly. If you do, you don't get the invites back. Trust me, I figured that out. It's very smart psychologically. Also, another thing that they do is when someone is invited, you can see on their profile who invited them. So on my profile, it shows that my friend Jade is the one who sent me the invite. And this way, this really is so interesting. I don't even know if they meant to do this, but I bet they did. It reapplies this pressure to like bring people of a certain caliber, because if someone really cool is on the app and then you get credit for inviting them, it's like, obviously I want credit for inviting Beyonce to the app, or like Rihanna. Of course. It also increases the sense of responsibility that users have when inviting people to the app. If someone's gonna be a dick, they go through and they're like, well, who invited this person? It increases accountability. You know, it really makes you think twice before you're like attaching your name to someone. Another thing to note really quickly, even though the app is invite only right now, if you download the app right now to make an account, you can still reserve a username for yourself. Also, if you go to sign up for the app and you have a lot of friends on the app already, they'll get a notification that says, so-and-so is trying to sign up for Clubhouse, do you want to let them in? If you just go through and try to sign up right now, there's a very high chance that if you already know a few people who are on the app, they'll just be able to let you in. Another thing that I want to highlight, and this is coming from my background knowledge of like, you know, YouTube and branding and PR, the audience retention time on this app is absolute insanity. In that first room that I was in about the future of social media, there was this one girl, Corey, in it, and she was saying that she had been in the room for 8 hours already. The clip that I inserted earlier, the room with like Lauren and Alicia, I was in that room for 2.5 hours. And because of this, I would argue that the return of investment for anybody who is paying to advertise on the app would probably be really, really high. If you find a room with people talking about a topic that your brand relates to and there are 6,000 people like actively listening, that is like undivided attention. You can't skip the app. There is so much potential for brand integration here. It's really wild. Another reason that I think I personally stay on the app so long is because the conversations are not recorded. If you miss it, you miss it. There's no rewinding, there's no replaying, which I see pros and cons to. The fact that these conversations can only happen in real time, it almost like creates a sense of FOMO in me that makes me want to not leave the app at all, because I'm like, I don't want to miss this conversation. Nah, so if you don't believe me, let's just take a look at the cold hard facts for a second. In the past week, the app has had 2 million active users, despite being invite only and literally not even having an Android app. Like, you can only download it if you have an iPhone. That's crazy. The platform was also recently valued at $1 billion, and it literally doesn't have any sources of revenue right now. Hello. An app is being valued at $1 billion over its potential. Like, that sounds crazy to me. But honestly, from my personal experiences, like, I believe it. One of the coolest rooms that I was able to sit in on, two individuals used to work together at MySpace back when MySpace was a thing like ages ago. And they were saying in the room that MySpace is literally the reason that targeted ads even exist today. The profiles on MySpace are what presented them with the idea to collect people's data and sell it in order to create targeted ads. Like, MySpace is the reason that that happened. They then went on to talk about how MySpace failed, why they thought it failed, how they thought it could be improved. It was such an interesting conversation. How am I listening to this for free? Another thing that I think it can be really crucial for going forward is kind of the whole point of my podcast, is highlighting experiences different from our own and allowing you to like listen in on those. I think it's really important to have conversations that are a mix of different people talking. So it's really interesting listening to the rooms with like tons of diversity. I think it's really cool that we're gonna be able to connect people all over the world. If I ever wanna go back and practice my Spanish, I can just join a Spanish room. Last week, I was listening in on a room that was led by the co-founders of the app, and they were talking about their future plans to roll out ways for creators to make money. They wanna find ways to monetize it to kind of incentivize people to get on the app. Also, I just think it's really cool that the people who started the app are having town halls on their app in order to like connect with the people who are using it and hear what they want changed. I'm a fan. I do need to note that I am curious to see how this plays out in the long run. I think that it is important to note that I think that part of the reason the app is as big as it is right now is because of everything going on in the world, you know, being trapped at home, not being able to communicate with other people or interact with strangers. Once people are going back to work, will the user rates be as high? I have no idea. I also am very curious to see how the app will grow and change and progress when it's open to everybody, because I think part of the reason that it's so valuable right now is because it is so intimate and it's a group of such impressive individuals that the networking opportunities in it right now are insane. I'm really curious what will happen once younger audiences come over to it. The second that Charli D'Amelio has a room, it's publicized that if you join this room, you can talk to her. I think it's gonna be flooded like an Instagram Live with 300,000 people trying to talk to Charli D'Amelio. Again, I think that there's so much opportunity here, and I think that if they like do it correctly, it could be huge. But I'm curious, what do you think about Clubhouse? Do you think it'll be the next big thing, or do you think it's just kind of like a thing of the moment and won't really last that long? Do you love it? Is it not for you? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. I think that's it for this video. I really hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, my name is Aaron. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you did enjoy this video, remember to give it a thumbs up, click subscribe down below, and click the bell to get notified whenever I upload videos. I'm uploading videos every Saturday. All of my social media will be linked in the description below. My podcast, my website, all of it. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments below, and I will see you all next Saturday. Until then, squeaky squeaky.